Welcome, Divine Hearts, and thank you so much for joining us again this week. We have a very artistic and creative guest joining us this week. She is Nina Ioka, and she is a light artist and a multi-creator, and she uses her voice in her creations and also her hands, naturally, to create these beautiful light-encoded paintings that she creates. And she also creates energy tools too. So thank you so much, Nina, for joining us. It's going to be an absolute delight to explore more and discover more about you.
Thank you too. I'm very honored to be here with you.
And me. So let's begin with today. You are Nina Ioka, and you create these incredible light-encoded paintings and all the other offerings and services that you share too. But it has taken you on a journey to get where you are today. And so I wanted you to take us back a little bit, if you will, to the journey and how you gradually became to where you are today. And one particular question I wanted to ask you, because you are so connected today to your soul, to your source, and everything that you create comes from this space inside of you. And I wanted to ask you whether this connection had always been there from the very beginning.
Yeah, well, I thought about it too a lot. So I went back in my life and I thought, how did it all happen? And when I was a little child, I was always very happy in nature. And then I had a sense of feeling one with God. It was very special for me. And with my grandparents, they had a lot of wood nearby their house. And so I spent there a lot of time. And when I look back, I know now that I was communicating with the trees and the bees and the flowers, and I was one with all. So that's what I remember. I don't remember much, but I know it was a special moment for me when I look back. I know that is where it all started. And because of difficult circumstances in my youth, I escaped in myself, and I traveled in the dimensions. That's where it started. And when it was first kind of escape, it's now a tool to bring back information for other people. So that's how it started, and it evolved during my life. And when I was in my adult life, it was all gone. And when I saw a tree, I felt nothing. But I knew that it was possible for me to connect more, but it was not there. So from then on, I started to investigate how I could get it back. And now, well, I was busy with my study, and then I got work. I was a teacher, and it was very, very stressful for me. So that didn't help. Then one day in the year 2000, I met a woman, and she taught me that I was a healer, or she showed me, it's better to say. And I discovered that it was true. I was a light worker, and I always had known that, but then it was like a switch turned on. And I thought, oh, yeah, that's true. And then it started all, coming back. And 3 years ago, because in the meantime I was still a teacher, but I got a lot of stress from it, and I got sick. So I knew this is not for me. And then because of the circumstances, the universe put me in a direction that I knew, oh, now I have to do what I came here for, and that is I'm an artist. I could say it to myself, this is what I am, and that is what I have to do. And my healing abilities and all of that, to do that more. And that was 3 years ago. So then I didn't have a job from 9 to 5. I was on my own, boss, so to say. So it was a new experience, and it was also very exciting because I didn't know if I could pull it off and if I could get customers to buy my art and all of that. But now I'm 3 years further, and now it's starting to, yeah, bloom. And yeah, I'm very happy with it because now I have different experience with clients who bought my work and they tell me about what they experienced, and that is exactly what I created it for. And I didn't create it on my own. I created with the energies that were present when I was creating it. So they all are portals. I discovered it's all consciousness. This my work is consciousness, and when you look at it, you can experience what it does for you. And it contains different layers. So when one person looks at it, it has a different effect than when another person looks at it. And that makes it very special for me because it's been a very long journey to discover me and my art. What it's all, why do I do it? How does it work? What I'm here to do. So it's I know I'm noticing that it's coming all together. So
Well, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for that introduction. It's incredible. And your work is so light-filled. And I will include details of where people can find your work underneath this video too. But I see your pieces on Facebook very often, and they emanate such a beautiful light that you can really feel them more or less even before you see them, which is wonderful. So it's really, really beautiful. And there's so many things I want to talk to you about your work and the way, the process that you work. But let's take you on this journey a little bit further. You mentioned that you had started to explore other dimensions. And so if you could share a little bit more about this experience, or maybe what it is like for you now when you traverse into other dimensions, and also that you discovered so beautifully that you're bringing codes back with you.
Yeah, well, I could tell you a couple of experiences I had when because I'm clairvoyant and I didn't know that. Only a year ago, I realized that that's the word that comes with it. And I had it as a child, but because I had a difficult family circumstances, I only saw not happy things. So I was a bit scared of it, but now it's more fun and I see more beautiful things. So for example, it all happens naturally. I don't have to meditate or something. It's just, I discovered the way I can look with my third eye, and then I can see whatever wants to show itself. So the example is when I took a walk with my dog, because I walk with my dog every day in the woods. I walked over the water, over a bridge, and then I looked in the water and I felt a presence, and I've always am connected to the water very much. But then I saw a creature that looked like the creature of Loch Ness. I thought, huh? And it wanted to contact me. I felt its presence, and it felt like he was embracing me. And it was a very lovely Loch Ness monster. It wasn't a monster. It was a very loving creature. So I was, huh? And it was very big. And I was a bit surprised because I was just walking and then, huh? So it was, I felt very happy when it happened. And I knew it was something he wanted to show me, that they are here right now. Most of us don't see them, but they are here. So that's what they wanted to let me feel and experience and bring out to the world, to know that we're not alone, and there are so many light creatures that are assisting us and are present for us. So that was one experience. And another experience was in the woods, because I like to hug trees. And the beauty of it is that my son, he's now 8, but when he was 3 years old, he began to hug trees too. And then I discovered, oh, that's what I can do too. So we both hugged trees. And that was so a joy for me to rediscover it. And because my son did it so naturally, he helped me to do it again. So, but the hugging trees, I do it now still. And well, when I did it, I also feel the connection with the tree, and I also feel little threads out of the tree, little green, yeah, tentacles, I should say, but very like nerves. They come into my body. That's every time I do it, I feel that. And so I kind of clicked to the tree, and then I opened my third eye. It all went naturally again. And then I saw a tree and it looked like a man. I thought, what is that? And then I see the sunlight come through it. And then it turned into a white being, a being of light, literally. And he took my hand. And I thought, well, I will go with him. And I did. And we went on a journey along the planets of crystals. So it was so amazing. I felt like I was flying, and it was just on the day in the afternoon. And well, I enjoyed it because it was very magical and mystical, and I will go, oh. So there were different planets with crystals, and they were all like diamonds, so very transparent, but very clear. And I felt the energy was so high. And I know when I went back that they gave consciousness with me, so I could later on use it. That was the reason why they took me with them. So that's some of the experience I had. One other experience was with a tree, because I discovered that trees can heal you, but they can heal you just like humans are healing each other. And when I experienced this, I was with my back. I always lean with my back to the tree. And then I suddenly felt the tree lifted me up. I went to the top, like in an elevator. And I thought, what's happening? And then I saw all colors, and my body was healed in different ways. All the energy came to me. And then when it was finished, I went down and I said, thank you. And that was the healing. So yeah, it was a real discovery and journey. Yeah, with all different light beings, but also the nature beings. And yeah, it helped me a lot, and they brought me a lot. And that was also 3 years ago when I discovered it. And the first time I was in the woods, when I discovered that I could see more, was I was walking, and then I sensed on my back some black forms, like a beetle. They have wings and they are shield. They are open up and then they fly away. And that's what I felt on my back. And they were disappearing. So I felt that something heavy on my back was lifted in nature. So nature helped me to let it go. So that was the first time I saw something like that. And I thought to myself, man, is it real? Is it fantasy? And now on, I'm going to believe it's true. And then it started to become much more. So that was the first time. And then I experienced a lot of other things. So that's why when, yeah, it started to come back.
That's just so beautiful and wonderful. I love when being able to share somebody's experience, because you can really feel it and see it yourself, and it's so beautiful. And it just confirms the magic in a sense as well, to allow others to allow the magic to happen in our lives too, which is so beautiful. And you mention there beings, other beings, and I know that you have a very strong connection with the Arcturians.
Yeah.
And also that you have identified with the blue ray in a sense as well. And I wanted to ask you a little bit more about both those frequencies, what you've experienced with those and what it means to you.
Well, I don't know how in terms of years when I discovered that I saw the Arcturians, but the first time I saw them in nature was I was again with a tree, and then I felt also a presence, and I thought, well, I'm going to look. So I'm turning inwards, and I looked, and then I saw the Arcturians. I saw their faces, and there were more, and I was in the middle, and they were standing around me, and they were healing my throat chakra, and I felt the telepathic connection. I couldn't translate it in my own words because it's all consciousness, but I knew it had to do with my voice. And since a short time, I discovered that I am also a voice medium. And that means that when I do my light language and the singing, there's other tones and other frequencies are coming through it. And that's my voice is used as an instrument to bring it outward. So, and I know that what the Arcturians did had something to do with it, because later on I got an image, because a lot of times I get some kind of visions, and I looked at my vocal cord, and then in the energy then, and I saw there was an extra hole that was new. So when I translate it, it's an extra instrument to receive other tones or sounds or whatever. And yesterday I gave someone healing, and he told me, and I heard it before, that when I use that voice, when it's coming through, they feel it's very intense and deeply in the body, because it connects them with experience of their other lives, so they can bring back the experience and knowledge into this life. So it opens the connection more to their true self, but also with the experience they had before, because they can use it in this life. So that's what I can now, since this week, I can put it together and make a story of it. So it's very special for me that you invited me, because it's exactly the right moment for me. So I can explain it. So yeah.
And so it's only a few years since you began to honor your soul and became a full-time artist, a light artist.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the way that you work, and maybe the way that you have worked and how it's changed, because you didn't foresee in the beginning that it was about the codes.
No. Well, there were two things. 6 years ago, I began taking pictures of the sunlight, because I also have a strong connection with the sun. I have seen the sun people. That's how I call it. I can telepathically talk to them. I discovered that later. But when I took pictures, I discovered some apps on my telephone, my mobile phone. And then I start to edit them. And I discovered very nice patterns. So I thought, oh, that's interesting, because I don't like mobile phones or computers any at all. But this was something interesting for me. So I played with it. A long time. And then later I discovered that more people were doing it. Oh, that's interesting. So I kept on working with it. I used more apps all together. And then 3 years ago, when I started as an artist, I had an exposition. Another exhibition. I exposed my art, so to say. But then I didn't use the codes. So I felt something was missing, but I didn't know what. And I also 3 years ago, because then all started, I received light coach earlier on, so I knew I could do it. It was some kind of automatic writing. It felt like that to me, but I didn't discover how to put it on my work yet. That was maybe a year ago when I started doing that. And then I put that together. Dus first I edit my pictures, I make prints of it, and then I put codes on it. And only a few months ago, I started to put numbers on it. And that was very special for me because I always had some difficulties with numbers. And I have been how do you call it? A physics teacher. I don't know the right word.
Yes.
So it happened to me that I was standing in front of the board, so to make a calculation, and then I thought, oh, I don't know anymore what I was doing. So I had some blackouts with numbers. I had it several times. So there's something about it, and I discovered that the place in your brain where the emotional feelings are, and the where the places where you use to calculate and that sort of thing are nearby. So a lot of people I discovered have very bad experience to be an alchemist in other lives when they were murdered or imprisoned or whatever. So there can be collective trauma to be an alchemist. So, and I spoke to different people and they said the same. I have that too. It's numbers. I sometimes I don't get it, or there's something difficult with it. And I discovered that those areas in the brain are close together, so it can really block your capacity to work with it. So, and now I'm using numbers. So I think it's like when I thought about it and I wanted to see more what the meaning of it is. And then I discovered it's just like when you open a safe, you turn the around in a special number and then we're back and it has a code. And my codes work the same. And what they do is they open your energetic field and they go into your core. And so they create openings so you can easily go to your true self and manifest it in your daily life. That's what they do. And well, I have an example here because I collect something. Can you see this?
I can see it, yes.
Yeah, this is from the sunset. And these white cloudy things are clouds. And this is for me a portal. And even kijken, let me see. You have the numbers here, and they also I do them often in different positions, and that's also to rewire the brain so that you can step out of the looping thoughts, looping mechanisms that will prevent you from seeing who you really are. But also, we all have learned a lot of things that aren't the best for us because they are going automatically, but it doesn't mean they are always good for us. So this is to help you to get out of it, out of the box, so to say, and make new connections so you can be more your authentic self. And when you resonate with an artwork, you know that it does something for you, because not every artwork is for everybody. It's also only for people who resonate with it. So let me see.
I also love that everybody would have a different experience depending on what they feel and see, and the fact that they are all portals as well to take you. And I love the way that you said earlier, and then I took my sight inside, and you said it so normally and effortlessly. This is, I thought it was just so beautiful, and you know, because that's what we do, is take our sight inside to see, but sometimes we are so preoccupied with the outer vision. So the beautiful portals to be able to take people inside to see see what they're ready to see and receive. What occurs when you create them? Do you find that they activate you? Is there a process for you while you create them?
Yeah, well, when I make the picture, sometimes I make the picture at home because sometimes the sun is, I feel really they're calling me. It's very special. I had to get used to it myself, but then, I had to take a picture. I take a picture, and then I know something is happening. But I don't know what then. And then I take my phone and I go to the app and I mirror it and turn it around and do it in another form. You can do that all the things. And when I'm creating that, I feel when the picture is right to use. So maybe it takes me sometimes a half an hour, but also 1.5 hours creating this. I make a lot of pictures, and then one is the one I need to go further with. So then it's all you can say channeled art, because when I'm busy, I'm connected. So then it clicked, and then I know this is the picture I want to put on my website, or this is an artwork, so to say. And I always feel I make a few, and then I feel, okay, now this one I need to code it now. So it's also like being called to put codes on it. And last week I made a lot. 1, 2, 3, 7. So it started to come very fast, and I know now with sun flares and all of that is very heavy. I have been very sick, but I know that it was necessary to let go, because when I'm sick, I can let go easily. And it all is connected too. So the art works and what I experienced then. And when I'm coding, I also experience my own process. So yesterday I made, there was a client of mine who bought an artwork of mine. It was ready. It was a big one, like this. And when I was busy with it, I was feeling hot. So I was processing too. And I saw all kinds of things that had to do with grounding. And well, when I was creating it, it did something for me too. So it brings healing for me. It brings insight. And all the knowledge is what is coming through is going in the artwork, but the artwork and the connection with what I have then also brings me something. So I think it's very alchemical process and very uplifting for me too. So I enjoy it always. It always makes me feel better.
Well, and they're beautiful to see, and I love when you put new pieces on Facebook so we can all enjoy them too. So it's wonderful. And I was seeing one of your paintings recently with swans in it, and it was really, really lovely. And I wanted to ask you if there were certain pieces that stand out for you for whatever reason, maybe an experience or an understanding or an expansion that's come.
Yeah, the swans. I'll show it. I have it nearby. This one.
Oh, that's it. Yes.
Yeah. And this, I feel like it's an explosion of the swans are coming like this. And for me, it is about inner beauty, because I have myself find it very difficult to see myself as beautiful. Yeah. So there's something I have to heal still. And this was to remind me of my own inner beauty, not the face or anything, but to honor it. And also for others, that because we have been trained to see ourselves as not so beautiful. And a lot of people think of themselves not beautiful, and they don't love themselves. And this is about loving yourself and honor yourself, and that everybody has a meaning, because the world wouldn't be the same without you. That's when you think of that, it's very important to realize that's true. That's how I feel it, and that's what this work is about.
Oh, Nina, so beautiful inside and out, and this shines through all of your work. I was going to ask you again about the Blu-ray frequency, because we didn't touch upon that.
Yeah, the Blu-ray frequency. Well, it was very special for me when I discovered it, because also 3 years ago, it was a very important time for me. I got back some memories of my past, and I didn't know, but I blocked them. So I felt I needed help to get it all together and to go through it in a healthy way. And then I saw someone on Facebook, and she asked, "Who is a Blu-ray?" And I remembered, because I'm giving healings since the year 2000, so I noticed sometimes when I was busy with a person, that when I looked in the mirror, because sometimes I had to go to the bathroom, and I looked at myself and I was totally blue. So I thought, I think I am. So I responded, I am, because I thought, I think I am. So she responded back, and it turned out she was a Akashic reader. So we made an appointment, and she confirmed everything I got from my memory, because I thought, is it really true? Did it really happen? I don't imagining things and all. But she really helped me to put it together, and it was such a relief that I didn't invent something, because I had very strong physical reactions in certain circumstances, and I couldn't understand. But when I talked to her and with my own memories, it all made sense, and it was a very important thing for me that we met. So I thought, well, I'm a Blu-ray being. What does it mean? And then I discovered that there are more Blu-ray beings, and that we all come from Sirius, and we have all a special mission, because when you are a Blu-ray, you are not only a Blu-ray, but it's a kind of type of person that has a mission for humanity. And that's what I feel too. I feel it since I was a child. I couldn't really put words to it, but I felt it very strongly and still. But I discovered later that not everybody feels it like having a mission. So I thought, oh, because when I talk to my husband, he sometimes don't understand why I take it so seriously, because he doesn't have it like that. So I thought, oh, okay, that's different. So there are different people with different ways to assist or are light workers. And later on, I discovered more people who have this, and Blu-rays have a key inside, and that has to do with the codes, because as a child, I had something really special with writing. It felt very magical to me, and I was interested in woodwork and then codes on it, like the holy symbols and hieroglyphs. I don't know if that's the right word, but so that's what also when I was a child. But the Blu-rays have a key inside, so they can activate other Blu-rays, but also other people, so that they can do their job, spiritual job for humanity. And that is now recently there are more and more people who remembering their true mission. And that's why I received the codes only a few years ago, because it couldn't have been earlier, because it wasn't the time. But it's now, it is. And I see different people using light language, and every person has a different role and different kind of language to put in the world, because there are different people who connect with it. Like I've seen it like this. Every person has its own colors, and when we all live our true self, it's all in divine order, and it's all in balance, because we all make the whole. And if we do what we came here for, it's all perfectly arranged in the right way. So I feel it's important to remember who we are and to do what we feel we have to do. So
absolutely. And your name, Nina Ioka, you became Ioka, changing from your birth name. And so you've mentioned also that the yoga was part of your galactic remembrance too.
Yeah, so when I met the Akashic reader, I don't know exactly how it went, but she saw a paper of mine because we wanted to share something, and I showed the paper, and there was also light language on it because it was the first time when I tried it and it came. So, and she saw it and she said, "Oh, I can see you also write the light language." I said, "Huh? Oh yeah, that's true." And she said, "Yeah, well, it's important that you give yourself your galactic name or remember your galactic name because it's important for you and your work." And I knew what she meant because the energy of that name is different than your Earth name, because we all have not only our task on the Earth, but also a galactic role. So we are in the middle of the universe, of not in the middle, but we have a place in the universe. That's not coincidence. It's when we remember that we are so much more than a human on a planet, then there's also a shift inside, because then you know your own importance, and that's very useful to do what you have to do. So I was sitting and I received a code and a name, and that was Ioka, and this was the symbol that is that goes with it. I'll look it up because I'm using it. Okay, let me see. This is how I received it. This was Ioka.
Oh, wow.
And this is the symbol I received with it.
Beautiful.
And then that it was the beginning of the all Lightwing language I used further on, and that only became more and different because I discovered there are also kind of dialects. So the one is more elven-like, the other one is more. I also use codes that are more how do you call it? The old Egyptian way, and the others are more alchemistic. So then when I look at it, because I can translate it, I can make portraits of someone, and then I can see the codes in their energetic field and I can write them. And then I see kind of tools that we used in when, like in Atlantis and the old Egyptian way. They are tools of consciousness that you can use for the new Earth. So they all have to do with how can we connect with each other in another way, more telepathically, more heart-centered, more like a galactic being instead of a being on the Earth. And all these tools help you to remember how you can do that, because we all have it in our side, that knowledge, but it is locked. And that's why I talked about the key. And inside me is a key to open it. And there are different persons, other persons who have other keys to unlock it. And there are also portals on the Earth, and they can be unlocked too. So there's a lot of that going on right now, and things will change because of it, as it should.
What do you feel about the Netherlands in general in energetic terms, and possibly sort of the energies there, or messages that have been coming through for you recently, to share too?
Well, I didn't get messages about Holland or the Netherlands personally, but I investigated a bit the place on Earth we have as a country, and I know that a lot of healers and light workers here, and I know that we all carry a heavy load of violence and abuse, and there are a lot of people who have such backgrounds in their childhood, and I see it as a lot of people are transmuting it into the light. That's their job, and I think it's concentrated in this area of the world but I have no proof of it, but I feel like it's true. So there's a concentrated area of working through the darkness to clean it and to bring it into light. And yeah, that's how I see it. And the sea, and that we are a country that is very, how do you say it, low. Netherlands.
Yes.
So we have a lot of
Yes.
so I live in a place where there was sea before, so they have put a lot of sand on it. They piled it up.
Yes.
I don't know how you call it. So
Yes.
it was, so I live on a sea bottom basically, and that's feels for me very special. It has a reason why I'm here, and the air feels different, very yeah, fresh. I don't know how to say it. Very different than where I lived before. So I feel the different energy here very well. It is also the woods, the trees are very young too. So that's sometimes a bit, huh? when I first came here, it was in 1991. Then it was some 30 years old. This place, Lelystad. But then the trees were planted in rows, so you saw it's very not natural. It is new, now it's different, but uh, I had to laugh about it because it was so artificial, like the trees, because I came out from a place where there was a lot of forest and it's much older, so I had to get used to it. But now it's all grown and it's much more green. So, but that's how I feel about Holland.
Tell me about your energy tools that you create and how you work with them and how others work with them.
Yeah, that's fun too. Well, I put one here. This was the first one. It's a wooden stick, and I made a shell on it and a crystal,
Oh,
Lemurian crystal, and I did some light language on it. And this was a stick when I was walking with my kids, and I thought, oh, I have to take this home because when you look at it, you see a different kind of stripes. It's a bit dark.
yes.
I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little insect that makes it gray. So it makes that stripes on the wood, and I thought it looks like language. And my name is Platfoot, my family name, and it turns out I was a Native American in different lives. I had different spontaneous regressions, and so I remember how that was, and suddenly I felt connected to those lives, and I had to take it home. And only a year afterwards, I thought now I have to do something with it. So I made a tool out of it, and it's the same with my other art. When I make it, I connect with the other dimensions, and the energy goes into the tool. So I had people who touched it, and they felt, oh wow, what's happening? So the energy is in this for the ones who can feel it, because not everyone feels it. This has to do with the trees and the wood, but I also have this one is with the water and the sea and the Atlantic, yeah, knowledge. And this is from nature, dragonfly. I really like this one also.
Wow.
And when you have this in your room, you can feel the energy change. If you are sensitive to it, you can also buy it or have it because you like it or you think it's beautiful. But it has yeah, that's why I call it a power tool or energetic tool, because I feel it is like that.
It's very beautiful.
And this is the last one because I chose some. This is the sunflower lady. And this one is very special for me because this is a light bringer very much. I also put glitter on it because I love glitter, because
Yes.
it reminds me of the sparkles on the water when the sun shines on it. And
Oh,
it reminds me of home, the stars and the magic. And that's why I use it. It's not very nature friendly, but I have to use it.
that's
So
so stunning. And what do you feel? I know it's a difficult question because it's about sort of how you see things unfolding for you gradually. Where does your passion lie at this time? Or you're such a creative being.
yeah.
You create with your voice, with your hands, everything. Where do you feel? Is there an area that you feel like you're moving more towards, or it's
Yeah.
embracing all of it?
I really want to dive more deeply in the videos. We talked about it, the short art, moving art videos. They are like that now, because I want to combine it with the codes, that the codes are moving in the video, so to say, and that people can experience more deeply in that space, which I was when I made it, so they can absorb the energy more of the alchemy that comes from it, because it's different when you are kind of in it than when you have a artwork in front of you. So that's what I feel I want to develop more, so that people can see it on a screen. And
I
it's like,
also,
yeah.
sorry, you carry on.
And they sit in the chair and they can watch it, so they can let it come over them, and then my voice singing and saying the codes with it. So it's a whole experience. That's and music, maybe drum, because I do also drum, and that I know with my Native American roots that it's with the last week. I didn't tell you this, but I also, when I was so sick, I had a vision that I saw the Native Americans. They were waiting for me. I had that before, and they were not clapping, but they welcoming me. We are so honored that you are carry on our mission with drumming and knowledge. And so when I talk about it now, I feel emotional, because it was a very important moment for me, because it encouraged me to go on with that, with the drumming and the singing and the so that's all has to come together in some way for me to do, and that's what I'll follow. So, and I don't know how it will end, but that's what I'm going to do. But it all comes together in some way.
Wow, that's such a beautiful way to close our conversation today. Nina, it's been such a joy. Thank you so much for allowing us to see your pieces and to feel your work. And I'm sure that many people will go and have a look now to discover more about you and your pieces too. Thank you so much for allowing us to enter your world for a little bit today.
You're very welcome, and I enjoyed it very much. So thank you too.